I'd like to thank you for inviting me on the show. It's such an honour to be here, and I'd just like to say that when I'm not playing Xbox with my mate Thor, I really like to listen to my favourite podcast, Pop Culture Pasta. Hey Dave, I'm thinking about doing another revolution. Do you want to join up? I might need some help with organising the pamphlets though.
Pop Culture Pastor.
All right, Cody, I know you are just back, so I don't want to tire you out too much. We'll get this recording done. We'll get it due. I know it's been a long week for you.
Well, thank you.
You can tell everyone where you were, that you got the invite for the T Swift and T Kelsey wedding.
I signed something. Maybe not.
Well, that's going away here now because we're going to talk about it. Cody.
Yeah.
First, I should tell you this is Pop Culture Pastor, the podcast. My name is Dave. Cody is here.
Yeah, I am.
And when there's no one else here.
Nope.
It's just us. And so I thought it's the big one. It's the big day. It finally happened. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got married on July 3rd at Madison Square Garden. That's where your wedding was, wasn't it?
I mean, we considered it.
Too small.
Yeah.
They got married in front of hundreds of family and friends, said in the People magazine, after 2 years of the most watched relationship on the planet. They made it official, Cody. And People, this was kind of crazy. People magazine reported, and as well as other places now, because they've come out and talked about it, Adam Sandler was the guy who officiated their wedding.
That jabroni.
Some of the people there were like talking about how amazing it was because nobody knew. He just walked out.
That's my friend, the Sandman. They could have had me. I offered my services, but Sandler has some range.
There were several moments on this podcast in the last year where I know we brought up that we are actual pastors.
We could have done this.
We would have been the perfect fit for T Swift and T Kelsey's wedding. But this is actually, I don't know if I could compete with Adam Sandler.
T&T.
I mean, other than, I'm an actual minister. But maybe that wasn't a big deal to them.
They didn't get married in a church unless they got married beforehand and then had just a ceremony for all their friends.
Is T Swift religious? Does she ever talk about that? Or would she keep that like kind of under the belt?
I definitely in her youth there was some church stuff.
Because I find that interesting. She seems like a person who's very kind. She seems like a person who's very
I
churchy.
don't know if there is actively, but definitely in the past.
Interesting.
Can't confirm or deny.
Sandler said he said yes right away when they asked him and was incredibly honored to be a part of the day. He said he wasn't trying to find the perfect words or make it a big production. He just wanted to speak from the heart and pass along a little wisdom that he gained from his own happy marriage. In fact, he said his advice was he told them to kiss every day.
Aw.
Yeah. That's a Sandler thing too.
It is.
Feels like that would be something Sandler would say, and then he'd be like, "You got what I do."
I like to think when he was having them repeat after him, with Taylor, he was very sincere and enunciated and pronunciated. And with Travis, there was a lot of that going on.
Do you, Travis Kelce, take as your... I could just see it. I would want him to do stuff like that. But as for their vows, apparently Swift and Kelce reportedly spoke for 20 minutes each, Cody.
Oh, my goodness.
What were they saying?
I can give a 20-minute sermon, but I also could probably talk about my wife for 20 minutes, but I'd get tired halfway through and be like, I'm out.
Oh, look, I love my wife. You asked me to talk about her for 20 minutes? I'm like, I'm filling time here. I don't know how to do that. I couldn't even talk about myself for 20 minutes. Okay, I could talk about myself for 20 minutes, probably. But Swift apparently sang during her vows, which makes sense, while Travis got emotional and was crying, apparently.
He is an emotional fellow.
Yeah. So what did you think about all that? Did you get to... There wasn't any of it that was available to watch, right?
No.
It was totally private.
Unless they release it on streaming.
You don't think they did?
That was one of the rumors.
Really?
That there will be a Disney Plus special.
Oh my gosh, millions. That will make billions, Cody.
That would make up for some lost revenue.
I saw someone online the other day talking about how Kelsey was a grifter, that she was the money winner. And I'm just like, well, okay, she's like the richest woman in the world, but he ain't exactly a bum.
I mean, being worth $130 million on your own is nothing to frou-frou about.
Yeah, I just think it's funny how people talk sometimes. I think the Swifties can be very defensive.
Defensive, a bit hyperbolic. It happens.
But anyway, all of this was getting me thinking, Cody, as I was thinking about Sandler. And I was wondering if you were going to renew your vows, if you're going to have another ceremony and you could have any celebrity you wanted, what celebrity would you get to preside over your renewal of vows?
I'm going to assume that we have to be living, so.
Well, that would help. Yeah. I mean, we don't want a Weekend at Bernie's situation with the Duke. I'd be standing backstage like, I'll fix their wagon. Move his mouth.
I mean, I could AI Val Kilmer. Maybe I have two people.
Okay.
The ultimate tag team, close friends in real life, Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Both of them?
Yes.
They could do it like Ocean's 11 in character?
Yes.
My first thought was Sean Astin, just because he seems so nice. Seems like he'd be great. And then he could make us honorary Goonies.
He could. Or make you part of the fellowship.
Yeah, whichever. I'm a Goonie guy first. Not throwing shade at Lord of the Rings, because those are great. But
slander.
What about if you got Keanu Reeves? He'd show up all humble.
He is evidently just the nicest guy.
Yeah, he'd probably say something profound and mean every word of it. He's super sincere. The internet's nicest man. Blessing your marriage.
Steve Carell would be a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He could be funny and really sincere.
Right, yeah. And I thought of Dolly Parton. You get Dolly.
I think that would be too distracting.
How so? What do you mean, Cody?
She is a larger-than-life presence, David.
What are you talking?
Cultural icon, Dolly Parton.
We know what you mean. She'd probably work in a little gospel at least.
Oh, well, she would definitely be able to sing and do all that.
Nick Offerman. What about Nick Offerman?
Oh, that'd be good.
Deadpan delivery. Secretly just kind of out there being the most sincere dude alive. Maybe even a little woodworking.
And he is also an emotional fellow and could cry.
He'd be what was that movie? Was it Meet the Parents? Where Owen Wilson's character builds the altar, the thing they get married under.
Oh, yeah.
He would actually do that.
That'd be nice. His woodworking is quite nice, but also he's not shy about the quality.
Yeah. Weird Al? You get Weird Al to preside?
Too funny.
Your vows plus an accordion. He's too distracting.
Is the guy that did the wedding ceremony in Princess Bride still alive?
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll have to look at it. Who was that? I don't know. Nobody would forget Weird Al, though. What about Sir David Attenborough from the wildlife things? He could narrate your walk down the aisle like it's a rare mating ritual on the savannas of Africa. That would be pure comedy, I think.
That might also just ruin the mood for everyone.
Oh, a mighty gazelle. Okay. Ultimate, though. What if you got Jason Sudeikis to do it in character as Ted Lasso? Relentless optimism. He'd give you a Kansas folksy metaphor. Something about goldfish.
I think I would just rather have Jason there as himself.
And we'd all believe again. Believe and believe, Cody. All right. Are you still looking up the Princess Bride
I
thing?
just started doing it. So that would be English comedian Peter Cook.
Oh,
marriage.
Yeah, that
marriage.
guy. Is he alive?
Now I gotta look up if Peter Cook's alive. He died in 1995, people.
Doggone it. Dreams shattered. Thanks, Cody.
You're welcome.
All right. We're going to do a Be Kind rewind. We're going to start that in just a minute. We'll be right back. Cody, how are you feeling that you're not bona fide? How does that make you feel?
I am bona fide. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm bona fide.
Oh.
What does bona fide mean? Do we know?
Legit.
Legit?
That's what
our
I'm going
generation?
with.
Yeah. Well, welcome. We are doing a Be Kind rewind on Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? A movie that's by the Coen Brothers, Ethan and Joel Coen, and is based loosely on the Odyssey. And this is the reason we're doing it this week, because we're going to review the Odyssey next week.
Also bona fide. In good faith. That's what it literally translates as from Latin.
Well, Everett, or Ulysses, as it were, in the movie, he is not doing anything in good faith for most of the movie.
Genuine, sincere, not a fraud.
Yeah, he's pretty much a fraud. Completely a fraud. But yeah, so we're going to... the Odyssey, by the way, Chris Nolan's Odyssey is getting all the glowing reviews from the first viewings.
I can't wait for the musical numbers to come out. All the characters to start singing.
When exactly does Odysseus run into the Soggy Bottom Boys? Do we know that?
That's a good question.
And is John Goodman playing the Cyclops in Chris Nolan's version?
I haven't ruled that one out yet either, because everyone's in
Dan Teague. This movie, doggone it, Cody. We were just talking. This movie is so freaking good.
It is. And when you get to the end and you see that this is based loosely off of the Odyssey, it's like, this makes sense.
Oh, and it changes the way you watch it.
Yeah.
So the first time I watched it, no idea, because that wasn't something they really talked about before the movie came out.
No.
It was just a Coen Brothers movie. You
With
knew,
bluegrass music.
yeah, you knew there was going to be a lot of music. You saw the trailers for it, and you thought, okay, this looks interesting. It's got the guy from ER. Let's go. And then you watch it, and then, right at the beginning in the credits, it says based on Homer's The Odyssey.
Yeah.
And once you know that, you can't watch it any other way. If you've read The Odyssey, it's just an amazing watch.
And if you haven't read it, watch the movie, and then it's like you read it.
Somehow, some way, this is sitting at 78% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics. What do you make of that?
Either the critics didn't get it, which I imagine there were some, or
Ebert gave it 2 out of 5.
Ebert,
Yeah.
you punk.
I don't know why we're throwing stuff.
But no, I think that it might be too niche.
Yeah.
Once you get into Southern bluegrass gospel music and dealing with Southern lifestyle.
Do you think the Coen Brothers style is just niche, though?
Very much so. I don't know what you would say their biggest film is, but I don't think they've had a blockbuster by any stretch of the imagination.
It depends on what you mean by biggest. Like, if you're talking about the zeitgeist, just what rocks the boat the most, I'd probably say Fargo.
Oh, I would have said Big Lebowski, just because it seems to be quoted a lot, whether
Yeah.
you know that you're quoting it or not.
I think The Big Lebowski has a very devoted following, but I don't think it's the biggest following. I think Fargo makes the most waves. Maybe No Country for Old Men. But Big Lebowski definitely has very committed fandom. But the Coen brothers might just be some of those filmmakers that their movies are such where, I was just telling you before we started recording, I think most Coen brothers movies, I like them more with each subsequent watching. Like the first time I saw Big Lebowski, I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And then as I kept watching it, I just loved it more and more as I watched it, and I'd pick up this little thing and this little thing. The Coen brothers, the depth of storytelling they have, I don't know that there's anyone out there like them.
I don't think with the blending of nuance and humor, because a lot of their stories do have humor, but they can be very serious. I don't think that there's that genre bending style that someone can say, oh, these people are just like the Coen brothers, or this director's just like the Coen brothers. Although my dear friend Christopher Nolan said that he wants to direct a horror movie next.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think the Coen brothers' humor, too, is so subtle most of the time, which is what makes this movie interesting, because it's clearly slapstick in that old Depression-era style.
Love it.
But then there's still some very subtle things like they do in there where you have to watch it a few times and then you catch it and you're like, I didn't notice that before, but that's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes in this that I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. Audiences love it, actually. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes from the audience score. Metacritic, only 69 out of 100. IMDb, 7.7 out of 10. As I said, Roger Ebert gave it a 2 out of 4 stars. And he said the scenes were, quote, wonderful in their different ways, and yet I left the movie uncertain and unsatisfied.
Uncertain about what?
Exactly. Well, I think he didn't get it. And there it's like, look, I don't think that's an insult. I think Coen brothers, you got to dwell on them for a while. You got to think about it, watch it again until you get what they're saying. And I think I've got the perfect way to describe what I think they're saying in this movie that I'm going to bring up in deeper themes. But I didn't know that the first several times I watched it. But as I said, Joel and Ethan Coen, Joel takes the directing credit on this, Ethan producing, but they co-wrote and co-edited it. Stars George Clooney as Ulysses Everett McGill, John Turturro as Pete, Tim Blake Nelson as Delmar. You got John Goodman in there as Big Dan Teague. Holly Hunter as Penny, Charles Durning as Governor Pappy O'Daniel, and Michael Badalucco as Babyface Nelson. Cinematography, Roger Deakins, legendary cinematographer. This is one of his most visually distinctive films. This movie's beautiful.
It is, especially at the end when the house gets flooded out.
Yeah.
That scene, I'm like, whoa, the dog's trying to bark underwater.
Music produced by T-Bone Burnett. This movie came out December 22nd in the United States. It premiered at Cannes in May of 2000. Came out December of 2000 for everybody. But it turns 26 this year. Budget of $26 million. The box office made $71.9 million. So it wasn't a ton of money overall, but it made a lot of money.
Yes.
The soundtrack, on the other hand, went 8 times platinum.
I believe it.
Won the Grammy for Album of the Year in 2002 and sold over 10 million copies.
That sounds right.
So, yeah, this is a movie that hits people in very different ways depending on when they saw it, Cody. I'm very interested to hear where it catches you, because this movie comes out in 2000. Some people like me saw it in the theater that year when it came out. Some people came to it through the soundtrack. They had no idea about the movie, but they hear the music and they like it. And so they see the movie that way. And then kids maybe come to it from their parents playing Man of Constant Sorrow on repeat for a couple years.
As any good parent should.
I was telling my oldest daughter when we were watching it last night that I can remember hearing Man of Constant Sorrow on the radio. And I'm pretty sure, like, I wasn't listening to country and Western radio stations.
Well, that was your fault, David.
Sorry, I missed out on all that Alan Jackson.
He just retired, so.
Oh, he was still going, huh?
Yeah.
Good for him. A lot of people didn't discover it until adulthood. So with you being younger than me, Cody, I'm very interested to how you come about this movie.
So it comes out when I'm like in 6th or 7th grade. We didn't watch it in theater.
What about your parents? This seems like a movie your parents would actually like.
You know, I honestly can't recall if we actually rented it or not. It might have been one that it was either watched on TV or I was at a friend's house.
Wow. Yeah.
So
I can see it missing a lot of people.
Now, the soundtrack I was super familiar with because I did have a parent that listened to country radio. So,
and they played a lot of this.
Yeah. And it was also on CMT because they were still showing music videos. They hadn't switched out like MTV did before them.
That's country music television.
That is.
For those of the uninitiated.
One of my freezing cold takes, like worst takes I've ever had in my life, is that Alison Krauss really couldn't sing. I didn't like her music as a kid. Did not. But no, this soundtrack, and especially as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, Cody, you were wrong, but you saw the error of your ways. And George Clooney's singing voice is the lead singer of Union Station, which is her band that performs with her. So,
yeah,
little known fact.
Yeah, we watched this movie last night, me and my oldest daughter, and then I immediately went out and walked the dog and listened to the soundtrack. And it was delightful. It still is just an incredible soundtrack. Some behind the scenes stuff, things you maybe don't know. The title comes from another movie. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is the name of a fictional movie inside Preston Sturges's 1941 film Sullivan's Travels. In Sullivan's Travels, a Hollywood director wants to make a serious Depression-era drama called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And instead of the comedies he's known for, he makes that. And the Coens took that fictional title and then made it real. So this movie is a title drop reference within a title drop reference.
Snap.
The Coens claim they never actually read the Odyssey. Did you know this?
I feel like I had heard that, but can't guarantee I had.
In interviews, Ethan Coen said neither of them read the poem before writing the movie. They just kind of absorbed the plot points through cultural osmosis and worked from that. Do you believe them? Because some people think they're being cheeky.
Actually, yes.
This is one of those things where I think you could have never read it and still know most of the plot.
Yeah.
Which says something about the Odyssey in and of itself, right? George Clooney said yes without ever reading the script. Joel Coen flew to Phoenix to personally offer Clooney the role of Ulysses Everett McGill. Clooney agreed on the spot without reading a page. That's how much cachet the Coens had after Fargo and The Big Lebowski. Also, Clooney wasn't Clooney yet.
Are you telling me the facts of life did not make him?
Why would you go all the way back to the facts of life?
Because that's where I first knew him from.
Clooney, obviously, if you didn't know this, you should. Clooney lip synced.
Yes.
He was not the guy actually singing Man of Constant Sorrow.
And he's not in Alison Krauss's Union Station band.
Yeah, as Cody said, the guy's name is Dan Tominski. He's a bluegrass musician who's played with Alison Krauss for years.
Yep.
And Clooney was trained to lip sync it convincingly, but obviously the vocal's not him. Now, he had told his aunt, who was still alive at the time, Rosemary Clooney, famous actress.
Some would say the most talented of the Clooneys.
And they wouldn't be wrong. George might say that. He might admit it. Rosemary sang. She was famously in White Christmas, did movies with, Sinatra and obviously Bing Crosby. And so, yeah, that Rosemary Clooney is his aunt. And she was actually reportedly very disappointed he ended up not singing because he kind of came back to her and said, yeah, I can't.
No. Although I will say, out of all the singing voices, I almost believe Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah, interesting.
That whoever is singing harmonies, it sounds close enough to his voice that I'm like, okay, that could be Tim Blake Nelson.
So you were going by sound.
Yes.
Because did you know that John Turturro is a trained operatic singer?
I did know this.
Okay.
But that is only because I am a big John Turturro fan.
As people tend to be, I guess.
They should be. You don't mess with the Jesus.
The KKK sequence, the Ku Klux Klan, in that scene, they do that weird marching around.
Yes.
That is actually a visual reference to The Wizard of Oz. That choreographed march of the Klansmen is modeled on the Merry Old Land of Oz sequence and the marching Winky Guards from Oz.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it is. The visual similarity was intentional. The Coens were equating the Klan's theatrical menace to a fairy tale nightmare.
Deeper than I would have expected.
Yeah. Famous character actor Charles Durning as Pappy O'Daniel. He's actually based on a real person. Wilbert Lee Pappy O'Daniel was an actual Texas governor and country music radio host back in the 30s and 40s.
happy.
He used flour, as in like baking flour, company advertising money to build a political career. And he hosted a radio show with a hillbilly band. So the Coens like basically lifted that real guy wholesale and used him as a character.
I'm here for it.
The blind railroad seer, the guy who's supposed to be an oracle. He's the part of the oracle.
Yes.
That monologue was almost cut. And I can't believe it when I read this.
What?
The scene where that blind railroad worker prophesies over Everett, Pete, and Delmar was almost removed for length. And the Coens kept it, they said, because it's a direct nod to the Odyssey's blind prophet, Tiresias. And I don't care. I'm like, how could you cut that? That's super important to me.
Also, then you'd have to cut the scene with the cow on the roof.
Yes. It wouldn't make any sense. The whole point is that, like, oh, this is destiny.
It is.
Yeah. Anyways, that's some of the stuff behind the scenes that you may not known about. Did you Muppetize this movie, Cody?
I tried to. This one was tough because I'm like, I don't know who I'm cutting.
Yeah.
Like everyone that is a main person in this, I think would just do really good with Muppets. So I decided to keep Big Dan Teague.
See, yeah, I would have done that if I would have not cheated.
And so Kermit will be Ulysses Everett. And then Delmar, I think, has to be Rizzo. And then I'm going with Pete as Gonzo. And then, of course, Penny would be played by Miss Piggy. And Charles Durning's character of Pappy O'Daniel, I want Sam the Eagle.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so the more I thought about it, because at first I was going the direction you're going. I'm keeping Big Dan Teague. I was keeping John Goodman. And then I thought, man, this just doesn't work. Because then it falls into place like this normal Muppet thing. Like Kermit's obviously the lead. Miss Piggy's the female lead.
I was okay with that.
And I'm like, actually, this doesn't make the movie better. And so I thought, if I'm adding Muppets to this, if I'm Muppetizing this for real, I want the movie to be just as good in a totally different way. So I did this. I'm going to only have 3 Muppets in the movie, and they're the main characters.
Yeah, now we're changing the whole thing.
I told you I'm cheating.
You are.
I'm keeping all the humans except for the main 3, because that creates an atmosphere that's a bit different for a Muppet movie. But it also sets up some truly absurd situations, like the 3 of them in disguise at the KKK rally. Can you see them? Like, first of all, the outfits would be way too big for them.
It would be. I almost kept Delmar just so that, like, when he thinks Pete is a horny toad, that the Muppets or that whoever would play George Clooney would be like, why is he jumping into the lake?
I can see them getting thrown around by Big Dan Teague, the Muppets, which I think would be hilarious. The siren scene would be hilarious with human ladies trying to beckon these Muppets towards them. It's all just too good to not do that way, in my opinion. And yes, I'm totally aware it's cheating, but I think it's gold. And then I would switch it up a little bit. I'd have Gonzo play Ulysses, because Ulysses is the most unlikable of the 3 at first. For most of the movie.
He honestly is my favorite throughout.
He's my favorite, but I mean, like, just from a straight, like, Kermit is too sensitive. He's too whatever. Like, the whole point of the movie is that Everett is very selfish. And so I'm going to have Gonzo play Everett, or Ulysses Everett McGill. I'm going to have Kermit play Delmar.
I was going to say, if you don't have him play Ulysses, you have to go with Delmar.
And then I'm going to have Animal as Pete. Steal from Ken. So yeah, that's how I would Muppetize the movie. Cody, what holds up from this movie?
This is going to be a shocker, but the cast?
This whole cast is amazing.
So this is a very Coen Brothers thing. They just get people. I don't know how they do it, but I mean, you have George Clooney, you have Tim Blake Nelson, John Turturro, John Goodman, Holly Hunter, Charles Durning, Stephen Root's in this.
Stephen Root, man. Like, he's in so much that people like, because you just hear that name, you're like, who's Stephen Root? And then you're like Office Space. You're like, this movie. He just turns up all the time.
News radio.
As these, like, yeah, like totally key characters.
Or Widow's Peak.
I did not know he was in that.
And then even Ray McKinnon, who I only know from Sons of Anarchy, and maybe he was in a part of Justified.
Yeah, he's a character actor.
Yeah, you just have these people that you're like, oh, I know that face. I know that face. This is a big name. That's a big name. And oh my goodness, they all deliver. And you just find yourself enamored with this world that they're presenting and creating. Even Daniel Von Bargen, who is the sheriff that's hunting them down, you are just captivated, even though you can't see his eyes. He's always wearing these shades, and you're like, oh, he's so menacing.
Yeah. For what holds up, I'm going to just add on to the cast. I want to talk about 4 of them specifically. First, obviously, there's George Clooney. This is sort of his coming out party, because before this, he does a handful of movies before this, but it's a very mixed bag. He's huge because of ER, but then he does this handful of movies, starts with From Dusk Till Dawn.
I was going to say, he's in that one.
Well, I loved it, but a lot of people didn't.
That is a cult classic.
Yeah. Batman and Robin, he says almost killed his career.
I believe it.
But Out of Sight, maybe in this handful of movies, this is the one with J-Lo, where you start to see people start to see a little bit. But this is the movie where I think this is the pivot for him, where he stops being ER guy who's just trying to be a movie star, and he actually becomes a movie star. He plays Everett as this fast-talking, vain blowhard of a guy, and he commits so fully that you can't look away. Like Tim Blake Nelson and John Turturro are accomplished, like
thespians,
Academy Award nominated guys. I think at least Turturro was, and Clooney is just magnetic.
Well, he's a Dapper Dan man.
You just couldn't take your eyes off him even when you first saw it. Ocean's 11 comes out the very next year, and he never looks back. And I think this is the pivot point for his entire career. Then I mentioned Tim Blake Nelson and John Turturro, who I'm going to say this. These are 2 of the very best complementary actors of this generation. What I mean by complementary actors is they're not usually the main role, but if you need like the best as your supporting actors, you can't go wrong with these 2 guys.
Nope.
These 2 are, in my opinion, like Hall of Fame actors. They're just never the lead guy. And Turturro is Pete, who's got like this kind of inner rage. His pride is wounded the whole movie.
It is.
Then you have Tim Blake Nelson as Delmar, who's like just so sweet and innocent and pure. And you're like, what was he in prison? Like, why was he in trouble?
All my sins have been washed away.
And they hint at it. Like why he was in there, which was he clearly was desperate because he lost the family farm.
He did.
Tim Blake Nelson is a Yale graduate. Did you know this?
I did not.
The guy who plays Delmar has a master's degree in acting from Yale. He also directed his own film about the Holocaust the exact same year this comes out. So he's not a rube naturally. He just is extremely good at playing one. And then the last actor I want to talk about is John Goodman, who the Coen brothers just seem to get the best out of him. 15 minutes of screen time, and he's unforgettable as Big Dan Teague, the one-eyed Bible grifting salesman. And he's
teaching life lessons.
He's like the Cyclops character of the Odyssey redo here. And I just think what he does with the Coens is amazing, because Big Lebowski, I think, is the role he was born to play. I think that's easily his best role, and the Coens get it out of him. And it's nuanced. Like, he's played as the guy that gets the laughs in Big Lebowski, but he's also a very nuanced character. And it's the same thing here. You get 15 minutes of this guy in this movie, and he's great.
Even in the Klan scene, like him catching the flag and then seeing the cross fall over on him and his facial expressions. It's like, dude was just acting his heart out throughout.
The KKK mask with one eye hole is what got me. I just busted up laughing.
You only need one.
What else holds up in this movie?
Honestly, the dialogue throughout, there are expressions that I'm like, you can tell that George Clooney's character is trying to be a man of debonair, and he's using some words that he clearly has heard and doesn't either fully understand, or he just uses them because he knows that it sounds fancy and sophisticated. And there's so many good lines in it, and it's just a fun movie to just listen to them talk. I don't say that about a lot of movies, but the Coen brothers also do dialogue really well, whether it is just for laughs or it is to actually develop the characters and make them more nuanced. It's such a fun, just listen.
Yeah. Yeah, every time he just has a conversation. Even when he goes to that shop and they don't have Dapper Dan. But it's going to take him 2 weeks to get things.
Yes.
Like they need a part for the car, it's 2 weeks. If he wants Dapper Dan, it's 2 weeks. He's like, well, isn't this place a geographical oddity? 2 weeks from everywhere. It's just, yeah, he's so great. The delivery's great. I'm going to go ahead and say the soundtrack because it's maybe the most single important thing about the movie. Man of Constant Sorrow, Down to the River to Pray, Oh Death, just iconic things. Sold over 10 million copies. It won the Grammy. It won the Grammy for Album of the Year in 2002. Do you know how strange it is for a soundtrack, not just a soundtrack, to win Album of the Year, the Grammy for it, but won it as a bluegrass album? That's insane. It sold over 10 million copies, single-handedly revives American bluegrass, Cody, because that's the thing is that genre was all but dead.
It was literally Alison Krauss and that was it.
The soundtrack literally reinvigorates this. T-Bone Burnett, the guy that produces the soundtrack, he goes on these tours after this, and there's an explosion of interest in the genre again. The film made $72 million, but the soundtrack sold 10 million copies and revived a complete genre of music. It's arguably, Cody, the most culturally significant American roots music release of the 21st century. The bluegrass revival, some people call it. It comes from this movie. I think that's great. What else holds up?
The lip syncing really does hold up. The only person that I ever really question while watching it is George, but the words match up perfectly. It's just, his voice.
Yeah. So the Coens do something very interesting with this, and I don't know if you know it, Cody, but all the music is made for this movie by the time they start shooting. Did you know that?
I presumed, just because they do have well-known, bigger name bluegrass musicians and singers Emmylou Harris and Gillian Welch aren't slouches.
But usually that's going on as they are filming the movie or after it's said and done, and then they have to go back and refilm some things. The Coen brothers wanted it this way. So these musicians created all this music beforehand, and then they built the scenes around the music, which I thought was very interesting, which may explain why the lip syncing was so good, because they were working with that version of that song from the beginning.
It does help a lot.
Yeah. What else holds up?
Honestly, the key figures within the Odyssey do stand out in this movie, including, as my friend Delmar says, the sirens.
Yeah. All that Odyssey stuff is super great, man. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So you got Everett. He's Ulysses. His name is Ulysses. Penny is short for Penelope. Those are the easy ones. But then you have the sirens by the river. You've got the blind prophet. You've got John Goodman as the Cyclops. And I think, as I was watching it last night, I was trying to explain to Ayla, I think the secret genius of this movie is that they don't stop with that. So I love how the Coens adapt the feel of the Odyssey for the context they're in. So if you haven't read the Odyssey, think of it as an ancient road movie.
Road trip.
Like it's essentially Odysseus trying to get home from the Trojan War, and he just gets caught up in all these misadventures, right?
He does all the side quests.
And so instead of adapting every character, like obviously John Goodman is the Cyclops, he's got one eye, but instead of adapting all the intricate characters that Odysseus runs into, they just have them run into like these characters of the Depression era.
Yeah.
You've got Babyface George Nelson, who was a real gangster bank robber of the time.
Did not like to be called Babyface.
No, they run into what was the guy, Tommy Johnson, who's clearly a stand-in for Robert Johnson. They pick him up at the crossroads after he makes a deal with the devil,
and he flat out says, "I sold my soul to the devil in order to learn how to play this guitar."
Oh, son, for your everlasting soul. So I'd explain that to my daughter. I'd be like, yeah, so these aren't Odyssey characters, but they are part of like the misadventures of the Odyssey, except instead of Odyssey characters, they're just running into what you would know as celebrities of Depression era.
Pappy O'Daniel
Apparently was another one. Do you have anything else that's good?
No, I'm good.
I also listed the cinematography. It's such a pretty movie. We talked about that a little bit. Roger Deakins. So the dry, dusty, golden Mississippi that you see in the movie, it wasn't like that. They shot this in the middle of summer, which Mississippi tends to be wet and green. But Deakins wanted parched and depression worn. So this became the first Hollywood movie to digitally color grade the entire film after they shot it. And now almost all movies do it.
Yeah.
And this was the first one. So this is a trailblazing movie.
Which I would say that, like, in the Depression era, you also have the Dust Bowl. And even though it might not be affecting Mississippi as much as the part of the United States we're in, they are getting the dust blown from Kansas and Oklahoma and Nebraska out that way. So,
and again, the movie is just gorgeous. It's just so pretty to look at. And then I'm going to say what holds up is the Coens themselves. I think these guys are masters of their craft for our generation. They are deep storytellers. Think about what they pulled off here. This is, in one part, a Depression chain gang comedy mixed with ancient Greek poetry, mixed with a genuine roots music revival, and what I'm going to say is a real piece of depth about the nature of faith. Like, all of that is in this movie, and it's a movie that works for a 7-year-old or a film professor.
Especially if you look at Pete's character with, like, the faith dynamic, begging for forgiveness for selling out the boys, and then George Clooney's like, well, there really is no treasure. And then, why I oughta.
You stole from my kin. He was about to sell us out. I barred it until to see what happened. All right. What doesn't hold up, if anything, Cody?
It's really hard to think of something with this that doesn't truly hold up. So
there's only one way I felt like you could go with this.
For me, just off the top of my head, just because, like I said, if you go by sound, you don't think George Clooney would sound like that when he sings. That's
a minor gripe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even then you can be like, well, I looked at Susan Boyle once and thought she couldn't sing, and then boom, the girl has pipes.
Susan Boyle slander. Not on this show.
Nope.
The only thing, and I would have never thought of this just be watching it, but as I was watching it with my kids last night, the racial stuff is hard. I'm a history major. So for me, it's like, okay, yeah, this is the way it would have been. But watching my children struggle with it as they were watching it, because it's not like super heavy. You don't see any like acts of hatred.
So you definitely get it when they go record Man of Constant Sorrow.
Yes.
And you get it with all the Klan stuff, and you get it at the concert performance.
At the very end.
And so, like, and subtly throughout, there's just random moments, but like, yes, it's there. And I mean, if we're going to go historical, I'm good with it.
Yeah. It's a weird place to be because on one hand, I'm having to explain things to my children that they just don't get. So I'm like, man, the movie should have painted this maybe even a little bit more on how bad it was. But then at the same time, it's like, then it becomes something different. So it's, the movie takes place in the Jim Crow South. You've got a Ku Klux Klan rally in it. I had to tell them who that was, which was amazing to me. My children had no idea who the KKK was. You have a black character named Tommy Johnson who, they're like literally going to kill at this rally. They have to save him. And there's just a lot of racialized, period stuff here that I had to explain. Now, some reviewers, I did some research. Some reviewers argued that the movie handled this thoughtfully and satirically, but some said it used black suffering as a backdrop for white comedy. And when I thought about it, I thought, okay, I could see that. It's worth discussing, I think. And I don't know what the answer is. I guess my feeling on it is, I don't know if I can have an opinion of that. I'd have to be black. A black man or woman can have an opinion on this. And I would listen to that and say, like, that's valid.
The big complaint, I'll go back to another famous director, Christopher Nolan, with Oppenheimer is there's no portrayal of Japanese suffering.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one big thing that everyone's like, oh my goodness, like, you just told it from America's point of view. How dare you? And Nolan correctly pointed out it's literally a film about Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I do.
But
the context of the story is important.
They didn't shy away and like whitewash everything where, the South was just on the up and everyone was happy. No, they at least address it to the relevancy of the story and letting the viewer know that, no, things were rough.
Yeah, I would say none of the white characters are shown to be very good people. In fact, Delmar and Pete are probably like the most pure characters in the entire movie. The two guys running for governor surely aren't great characters.
Although one's children are hilariously silly.
Yes. Okay, Pastor's Corner. Let's talk about Ulysses Everett McGill. He spends the whole movie relying, Cody, on his intelligence, his cleverness, his wit. And as the movie goes on, you realize that that's exactly why he was in trouble to begin with. He wasn't there. He lied to them. He didn't pull off some big heist. He went to prison for pretending to be a lawyer. He was lawyering without a license.
As one does.
When he's trying to get back together with his wife and he's trying to convince his wife to get back with him, he actually says, well, I've been thinking about being a dentist. Like just being a dentist without, having to go to school or learning how to do that. And it becomes obvious that Everett chases meaning through titles of respect, right?
Because he's bona fide.
He's looking to be bona fide without doing the work to be bona fide. He's unwilling to do it. And here's what makes him a spiritual figure is he's not just a con man in this way. He's got something else going on. Throughout the entire movie, he belittles the childlike faith of Delmar and Pete. He thinks that his intelligence and his status and his respect and his reputation, everything that the world offers, he thinks that's the way to go. And when Delmar gets baptized, Everett scoffs at him. Fairy tale. Calls it a fairy tale belief. That can't get you anywhere in real life. He's a modern rationalist.
Although he's quoting the ever-loving Nerd Owl scripture throughout the movie.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
Like he quotes scripture at one point and then he takes the Lord's name in vain, like immediately. And I thought there's something, it's not funny to me in a way that you think I'm saying it's funny, but it's ironic that like you don't even know you're quoting scripture. You're just saying something you think is smart.
Yes.
But he was actually quoting scripture, and I think that's done intentionally because he thinks he's the smartest man in every room, and he's going to tell you so. So what we're really watching is, I'm going to say Everett is a King Solomon figure. Not that they were the same because King Solomon was a faithful dude. But in the way that Everett was chasing everything that the world has to offer, that status, that respect, reputation. He completely failed to find contentment in what he was actually blessed with in life. He's got the wife and the daughters are played like little angels in this movie. Are. As soon as you meet the daughters, you're like, oh, why on earth would he have done anything to leave this family he has? He's got this wonderful life that he apparently ran from.
He got hit by a train.
And you realize it's vanity of vanities, says the teacher in Ecclesiastes. A man surrounded by treasure who keeps chasing the fool's gold. Then, Cody, you get to the end. After all of these misadventures, on all these stories, the boys have been freshly pardoned. They're walking around as free men and they look it, right? They're loose. They're confident. And the guy that's been chasing them, the bounty hunter, is there. And he's going to string them up. And the looks on their faces when they realize they're about to die, even after they've said, hey, wait, we're free. We've been pardoned. We're not criminals anymore.
We don't have radio here.
Yeah. He's going to kill him anyway. Pete and Delmar immediately start calling out to their God, right? And then we see what the whole movie has been building toward as Everett realizes that none of the things he's chasing will do him any good. None of the things he's been using to his benefit, his intelligence, his wit, he's come to the end of himself. He drops to his knees, the scoffer, the man who mocked faith, and he starts praying. And this is what's amazing. This moved me when I watched it last night, Cody. What does he pray for? After he prays for the forgiveness of himself, his sins, he starts to intercede for his friends, Pete and Delmar, and his family. It's not until after he's prayed for them to save them that he says, I just want to see my daughters again. Mm. It's such a wonderful moment. And it's a full circle moment, Cody, because then the flood comes and it's divine intervention, quote unquote.
He got baptized.
To some people, it'll be divine intervention. To some people, it'll be coincidence. The movie doesn't, lets you decide, right?
Well, according to Everett, or Ulysses Everett, we knew that it was going to be flooded.
Yeah. But a man certain that his smarts and his intelligence was enough. And in the end, when all he could do was pray, that's what he falls on. We presume that he finally sees the blessings in his life for what they are. The treasure was never the treasure. The blind prophet says at the very beginning, he says, you will find a fortune, but not the fortune you seek. And Everett just needed the whole Odyssey to understand what that old man meant. And it's very similar to that there's a running story in the Odyssey, Homer's epic Odyssey, where Odysseus was the king of Ithaca, this wonderful little island. And many people wondered, why would you ever leave to go join this foolish war? Because he had to be the big man, the big general, because he was wily. And he was the guy with the plan who came up with the Trojan horse. It's the same story, but it's all the same story that's been told 1,000 times. Practicality and logic versus faith.
Pride goes before the fall.
Oh, it's just a tale as old as time. And I love when we get to see it in stories.
So random for me was, I really think a lot of church folk are Pete. And that one scene after they get Pete out again and he's like, we can't go there. They set up a trap. I've sold you guys out. And he begs for forgiveness. And then George Clooney shares, oh, there was never any treasure. And then he goes off and they start rolling on the ground, fighting.
Yeah, he went from please forgive me to you did what?
Yes. And so be kind to your church folk that don't see their own blind spots, that like, oh, yeah, I've been shown forgiveness, but I'm not going to show it as quickly. We're all works in progress.
And listen, I talked for like a good 5 minutes there just on that. There's at least 3 other themes that I could have talked about here.
Oh, yeah.
This movie's chock full of them because it's taking from a story that's so rich. And the Coens themselves are adding layers to it, and they tell a rich story. So it's wonderful. Some people will get something completely different out of this movie. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yes.
Who's your winner of the movie?
I think I have to go Clooney.
That's the obvious choice.
Just because I told you off air that this is my hot take for this movie, is that this is his most enjoyable role that you watch.
Yeah.
You're like, I need more George Clooney.
Yeah.
There's other roles where you're like, he's good. I really like this character, but like, no, that guy, this is great.
Yeah, he's wonderful in this movie. He's wonderful, and I think that's a fine pick. And I thought about going there because it was the obvious choice. But then I decided, you know what? I'm going to go with bluegrass music.
That was my backup.
The whole genre of music, because this movie brings it back from the dead. Before Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, old-time American roots music was basically a museum piece. It was something your grandpappies listened to. And then this soundtrack comes out, and it just detonates. As I said, it wins the Grammy for Album of the Year in 2002, beating out pop and rock acts. Bluegrass. It's a bluegrass record. That just blows my mind even now. Ralph Stanley wins his first Grammy at 74 for Oh Death, the famous, singer. Alison Krauss became a household name because of this.
She was already a household name in the Haviland house.
It's a whole revival of Americana and folk music, and it traces straight back to this soundtrack. And I think it's incredible. The soundtrack outlasts the movie essentially in a lot of ways. It definitely leaves a bigger cultural footprint than the movie did. Although I don't know that that's fair because the movie is brilliant. But the Coens set out to make a comedy about three idiots chasing treasure and accidentally resurrected an entire American art form.
Way to go.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Who's your loser of the movie?
Maybe Holly Hunter. Just because this might be one of her more natural, better roles. And she does a great job in it. And I love every time she is like, no, you're dead. You got hit by a train.
Got hit by a train.
And
you're not bona fide.
Yes. Like she does a good job, but there's just so many other characters and she's in such a small time that like it's hard to shine or outshine all these big names that are here.
Well, big names getting to be kind of bombastic and she feels kind of muted. And it's Holly Hunter, she's usually not muted.
No.
Right? I mean, like, she's my loser of the movie, too. And it's not a knock on her. She's great in the role. She's asked to be very subtle, but she's an Academy Award winner. She's one of the best actresses of her generation. I'm still upset. Was it Jackson that was slandering her?
It was Jackson, yes.
Jackson was slandering Holly Hunter a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I'm not here for that. I am making her the loser of the movie, but mostly because I just really like watching Holly Hunter and stuff, and the movie doesn't give me enough. She plays Penny in the Penelope role of the Odyssey, and she's the whole reason Everett is running home across Mississippi. She's the emotional engine of the entire plot, and she gets about 10 minutes of screen time-ish. But every scene she's in, she's the best thing on the screen. And the movie kind of takes her away from you. I wanted a whole movie of Holly Hunter, and I just get a handful of scenes.
Her facial expressions while they're on stage performing and George Clooney's pulling his beard down. Great.
We'll always have Raising Arizona, though. Which, by the way, also a Coen Brothers movie. If you have not seen Raising Arizona with Nick Cage and Holly Hunter, you should watch that. It's fantastic.
If you have not seen The Incredibles, you should watch that as well. Not a Coen Brothers.
More contemporary. How many cans of Dapper Dan out of 10? Because you're a Dapper Dan man. Not
I
Fop.
am a very much Dapper Dan man. I'll go 9.5.
Yeah, dude. This is a 9.5. This movie is fantastic.
I really have to stop and think, what is bad about this movie? Mm-hmm. The runtime's really good. It doesn't feel like it drags ever. The story is believable enough. And then you also add in this is based off the Odyssey. And you have all these names and you have all these memorable characters. And yeah, I'm just here for it.
Listen, Cody, I'm a history major. And this movie makes me want to live in Depression era times. And it's not like they're telling you like life is good. You can clearly see through the characters life is not good.
Nope, lost the family farm.
But I'm just sitting here watching this movie going, this has a charm to it that it shouldn't. And it's just amazing. It's just such a good movie. I wanted to play a little game here to end. We usually do it with another guest, but I got the top 5 highest grossing George Clooney films in front of me.
Oh.
And I was wondering if you would like to try and guess at which 5 movies those were.
Ocean's 12.
Okay, yes. Ocean's 12 is on the list. It's number 4.
Ocean's 13.
Ocean's 13 is number 5. So those 2 are on the list. Just say it.
Is Ocean's 11
Yes.
on this?
It's number 2. So all 3 Oceans movies are 2, 4, and 5. So you need the 1 and the 3. And this is where it gets a little difficult.
Like,
One of them might actually make you angry.
is his Batman movie on there?
Oh, no. The number 3 movie is released the same year as Oh Brother Where Art Thou. It's actually kind of the counterpunch that is the pivot point for him here. There was another movie. It was more dramatic. It had Marky Mark in it.
Oh, The Perfect Storm.
The Perfect Storm.
Yes.
Was number 3.
So yeah, that's my favorite Marky Mark movie.
Yeah. Number 1's going to make you angry.
Oh, what is it?
It's Gravity.
Oh, that is stupid. Oh, that movie irritates me so much. I had blocked it out of my memory.
I can't believe Gravity is the number 1 grossing George Clooney movie of all time. 723 million worldwide.
We were spending money foolishly back then, and every critic said, "Oh, this is great." And then you watch it. They never let George Clooney finish a joke or a story, and he's easily the most enjoyable character in this. And then she should have died 35 times.
I had to reread this to make sure I was reading it right. Gravity won 7 Oscars.
They hyped it up so much.
I hate that movie.
I hate it with the passion of 1,000 suns.
It's one of the few things we completely agree on with that much passion.
Yeah.
That movie's terrible, and I will just take it to my grave.
No. No. It's
We need George Clooney in a summer blockbuster quick, just so he can take that down.
Sandra Bullock should have won 15 Razzies for that. Can we get him in the new Avengers Doomsday movie?
Wait, there were people that wanted Clooney as Doom. Would he have made a good Doom? I don't think he could. He could do a great older Tony Stark. I know I'm going to get jeers for this. He actually isn't a terrible choice for an older Bruce Wayne.
No, so when he's the one that shows up in the end of The Flash as the Batman of that universe, I'm he might have been too young to be able to pull off Bruce and Batman. Where now I think he is going to nail Bruce, and you have a Bruce-centric movie with occasional Batman. Yeah,
and let's be real. It didn't matter who was going to be Batman in that movie. It was going to be a bomb.
Bat nipples.
Even Val Kilmer wasn't saving that one.
I still want the Schumacher cut released.
It's all about the cuts. All right, what do you think of Oh Brother Where Art Thou? So one of your favorite movies. Tell us about it. Somebody commented on, I'm not gonna out them, but on social media recently when I asked the question, what movies have you walked out of the theater on? Somebody put Oh Brother Where Art Thou? And I was just floored.
That's interesting. But I can say that stylistically, if you're not about the bluegrass gospel and Southern Depression era, you're not going to probably enjoy this. Yeah. And the Coen Brothers, you either really love it or you don't.
Yeah. You're going to be sitting in the theater and be like, we're in a tight spot.
Yeah.
All right. What'd you think of Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Let us know in the social media posts. And of course, as always, subscribe to the pod. If you're not subscribed, share the pod, rate the pod. Reviewing us really helps if you're going to give us a good review.
Please.
If you're going to give us a bad review, just float us a message or something and tell us you hated it.
Yeah. Say, Dave, do better.
All right. We'll see you next week.